All right, I have a very special guest. I have Allison here, and we're actually going to talk about your last name because before we got on camera and on the mic, I said it's Kristiansen, right? And you said absolutely not. So what? It's a family name.
It's a family name. It's my great-grandmother's maiden name, and she's from northern Norway. And everyone says Kristiansen, and it's not that it bothers me at all, but the way it's actually pronounced is Kristiansen.
Okay.
Yeah. But so you can tell, like, some people will be like, oh, Kristiansen. I'm like, you pay attention. You know how my last name is pronounced.
I love it.
Yeah.
The thing everybody's talking about right now, and I want to bring this up and get your view on it, the bombing that happened during the Ariana Grande concert.
Right.
There's some speculation as to whether or not she's going to cancel the whole tour or postpone it or what she's going to do. So if you were in her shoes, what do you do? Postpone it? Do you push forward?
Honestly, I can't imagine being in her position. I can imagine that it's so difficult to make that decision. I'd personally be so worried about safety ongoing, and I feel like everyone's probably going to be a little testy with concerts for the next couple of months. I couldn't honestly imagine or say what I would do in her position. I think whatever decision she ends up making is just whatever's right for her.
It's tough, right? Because I'm like, you know, you want to be cautious. Who knows if there's going to be copycats or whatever.
Right.
But then I hear other people and they're like, no, you have to keep your normal schedule because you don't want the terrorists to win.
Exactly. Yeah, I totally understand that viewpoint where it's like you just have to keep on going and keep performing and, you know, go on despite what's happened. But it's a hard decision to make because I know people will also be disappointed if you cancel an entire tour.
Totally. Yeah. So I feel like from your Twitter alone, I know you we're best friends. I know you love pink hair.
I do love pink hair.
You love the dying rose emoji, which is kind of weird.
That's my emoji. I love that emoji. I'm trying to make it a thing. I don't know if it will. I have it on all my socials, and maybe people will start associating it with me, but it's my favorite emoji.
Is there some, like, reason? Like,
I don't
hidden?
know. I just like it. It's so cool. I think it was new with, like, one of the updates maybe a month ago. It's like, this is cool. It's a different emoji. I have no connection to it in any specific way. I just like it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And then I know you love, or you're actually obsessed with Lana Del Rey, right?
Oh my God. Yeah. I love her so much. I discovered her music when I was just like 15 in high school, and I remember Born to Die was just like the soundtrack to my sophomore year, and I think I felt a lot cooler than I actually was when I was listening to it, because I really wasn't like that cool, but I was like, oh yeah, I'm listening to like national anthem, I'm the coolest person alive. Yeah, but I wasn't.
Is it safe to say she influences your sound?
I think definitely. A lot of her stuff, I love the way she writes and how she kind of goes in between concrete and abstract. It's not like completely straight down the line, you know, kind of like folk country writing where you're just saying what you mean, and then it's not totally out there like weird and abstract. I just really like how she kind of toes this line in between those two types of songwriting styles, and I think it's really impressive.
How do you feel about the comparisons with like Halsey and her, or even Lorde and her?
I feel like they're all great. I feel like they're very different. I think they're just grouped into this one group because they're all kind of the indie side of pop. But if you listen to their music, I really don't feel that they're super similar, aside from maybe some dark themes in some of their music. I don't know. Comparing artists to one another is so weird because people are so quick to do it. And I feel like really, you know, people have their own thing going, but people love putting people in groups, you know?
Sure. Well, sometimes it's helpful just to be like, oh, what can I, if you haven't experienced their music and you're like, what can I compare it to just to know? Mm-hmm. Who are some of the other people that inspire you or you're influenced by?
Recently, I've been listening to a whole bunch of Astrid S.
Okay.
I saw her in concert just last week.
I think I saw a photo.
Yeah,
right?
She's so cute. She's so nice. Yeah, I had tweeted at her, or I covered one of her songs.
Okay.
And then she followed me on Twitter, and so we had not really talking, but then when she came to New York City, I was like, I have to go see her show, and she was amazing in concert. Yeah, I've been listening to her a lot. I also went back and started listening to a lot of the music that I listened to in high school, and I was like one of those kids who only listened to acoustic folk music.
Oh.
I was a little annoying hipster who like thought she was way cooler than everyone else.
Before it was cool to be a hipster?
Before it was cool. I was the worst. But like a lot of Bon Iver, Gregory Alan Isakov, that type of stuff was my entire high school experience. And I think that does kind of rub off on my music in that I like it to be authentic and not completely, just far-fetched and all that stuff. And I think that came from some of the folk music that I listened to when I was younger.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So you're obsessed with Lana, and I have to tell you, I am extremely obsessed with Ashton Kutcher.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he's my man crush. I love him. It's disgusting. I would probably leave my wife for him, but
Ashton Kutcher.
I'll deny that if you bring it up. But so you have history with him.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Well, that was crazy. I forget exactly. I think it was maybe 3 years ago. I remember the date. It was January 31st, and I went to my Instagram. And at this point, I didn't have a ton of followers, and I saw that I just gained 70. And I was like, what's up? Like, something's going on the internet. Because anytime something surges, it's like there's something going on in some social media. And so I went on, I was like checking everything. Then I went onto my Facebook, and I had a bunch of messages. And then I saw that he had shared my Wildest Dreams cover. And he was something like, I'm going to go watch this like 10 more times today or something. I freaked out. I was no one that big had noticed me yet. Yeah. And it felt absolutely surreal being someone like Ashton Kutcher, because like everyone knows him. Like I'd watched him on that 70s show, and it's just such a familiar person. And to know that he had seen my covers was the weirdest thing. And it was amazing, actually, because I feel like it did set off a lot of later things with, my YouTube channel just started gaining recognition there, and it really became sort of exponential as far as the growth. And that was nuts. I don't think that I'd be quite so far along at all if he hadn't posted that video.
Where did he put it up? On Facebook?
His Facebook page.
And you have no idea how he stumbled on it or anything?
Actually, I do know. So the writer of the article, he has this news site, A+, I think, and someone had written an article about it. And then he goes through and like looks through the articles before they're posted, and he doesn't post all of them on his own personal Facebook. Yeah. And then he took a look at this one and decided to post it on his personal Facebook and watch the video and everything. And yeah, that was nuts. I guess he came about it because someone else had found it at his company.
That's hard to top, but since then, has there been another moment where you've got recognition from somebody that you were totally floored by?
I don't know. Well, definitely Astrid reaching out and saying she liked the cover was so crazy. I can't think of anyone.
Anybody slide into your DMs? I mean, what?
Who else has liked stuff that I've done? Shawn Mendes has mentioned I've done a couple covers of his.
Casually, Shawn Mendes.
Yeah, I don't want to like be weird about it, but he's seen some of my covers and like said that he liked them, and that was really cool because he's super talented.
He's amazing.
So good, and like live, so good, like everything. Yeah, so that was really crazy.
Yeah.
And I know that a lot of his fans have come over and like followed me on my social medias, which is really nice because they're all super sweet. I'm trying to think of other people. I'm so bad at this, like thinking of stuff off the cuff.
I'm like, Alice, name drop. You're like,
I don't know. Yeah, that's been. I know I'm gonna get out of this interview and be like, oh my god, I completely forgot to mention.
It's all right. We'll do another interview.
Yeah. I'll prepare that list next.
You brought up YouTube, and I thought something that's interesting. A lot of singers like you that use YouTube as their primary platform, I feel like they also vlog and do other things, but you don't really. Is that intentional?
No. I had a second channel where I made a couple videos, but it's very much the goal for me to be completely music oriented. As much as I think I watch a lot of vloggers and I love all their content, but it was very important to me to keep everything music focused. I think that it might be cool later on, like if I'm doing touring or even just behind the scenes stuff, to maybe make a couple smaller videos. But I didn't want to diversify everything too much too early, so that people know that I'm here to make music and not necessarily just to be a vlogger. Not just be a vlogger, but I didn't want to, confuse people as to what I wanted to do.
Right.
So I just keep it to music. Yeah.
Smart. Have you ever heard that you're an old soul?
Yeah.
Okay. Because Even just from how your Instagram profile looks, I'm like, she looks like she was born in the wrong era, just how everything looks. And I checked out some of the music you listen to. I think you mentioned like Sinatra and stuff like that. What, because I feel like Lana's kind of that way as well. When did you know? How did that happen?
Well, I think that might be one of the reasons that I like her so much. I feel like we grew up on the same music. My parents are not old. They're like regular aged parents that you would think that a 21-year-old would have, but they kind of skipped all the like late 60s and 70s and 80s music. We never listened to that in my house. It was all Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Bobby Darin, like big band swing stuff. And that's like all I listened to until I was 12 or 13, and then I started listening to 92.3, and I found like top 40 stations, and then in high school I found all like the folk stuff. So yeah, it really is like what I grew up on, and the only thing I listened to for the first at least decade of my life. So that might have something to do with it.
It's so funny because you're totally one of those people, you look at their Instagram and you're like, they are way too cool for me. It's like vintage everything. No, I guess in a good way. It could be a little intimidating.
That's so weird because I do not feel like I give off that vibe at all. I know I try to make myself look cool, but like never like too cool for people.
No, you look very cool.
That's cool that it comes off that way.
Yeah, you look extremely cool.
Oh,
so
that's good to know.
All right, before we wrap up, let's get to some of these fan questions.
Yeah, I saw some of those.
Yeah, they were awesome questions. You have good fans. The first one is at Hannah C. Camila.
Oh, I know her.
Oh, okay. She said, how did you start your channel knowing you might get judged? So I guess, putting yourself out there, were you afraid?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I kept it under wraps for a long time. I didn't like tell anyone. I went to a fairly large high school, and I didn't tell anyone until like it kind of got out that I had a YouTube channel. It's definitely hard in the beginning. I was lucky to have a lot of really nice comments. No one came by my page to say anything mean, so I had like a grace period. Of course, there's not a lot now, but you just definitely have to look past those and just look at all the good comments because it always outweighs the bad. Like even though it's hard and you'll really focus on the bad comments, if you look at them by the numbers, like really, like the love I get from people who listen to my music and most of the comments, like it always outweighs like the one or two annoying comments that come through. Yeah. And so it's just keeping everything in perspective, I think.
Yeah, it's got to be tough. I know we had Madeline Bailey in here a little while ago, and she said there was this one picture where she was in the pool or getting out of the pool or something, and she didn't have makeup on, and there was like a blemish or something, and some people mentioned that, and she was like, it really got to her. So I can only imagine, the thick skin you guys need to develop a little bit when you put yourself out there like that.
Yeah, for sure. And that's been a thing that I'm working on ongoing, just because I'm a super sensitive person, and I always find it so funny because these musicians that put themselves through this, they're usually the most sensitive people. Like the people who are making music and putting it out on the internet for everyone to see, they're probably the least well suited to deal with these comments that come through. Right. But they do it anyway because like it's music and you couldn't do anything else. But I think it's an ongoing, just like learning to just take the good with the bad and being thankful for what you do have. And
the next question we have is from at Cause a Little Trouble. Okay. They say, if there's a song you would listen to for the rest of your life, which song would it be and why?
There's a bunch of those. Probably one that Bad Religion by Frank Ocean would definitely be one. I probably have a list of 15, but yeah, that's definitely, I could listen to that over and over and over again.
Very good. What's a couple other ones?
Probably Born to Die, Lana Del Rey. Yeah. That one's beautiful. I'll listen to it sometimes walking through the city and it's still like, holy crap.
Do you do that thing where you like put yourself in a movie scene or something?
There's no way you can't like listening to her music. Like, I don't know if I look ridiculous to everyone else, but it's just, her music just brings about that feeling because it's so cinematic. I'm trying to think of other things. Just like also classics that are just fun, like Nat King Cole, like is it More? I think he has a song called More or whatever. And it just reminds me of being like 8 years old again, and I could listen to that over and over again.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right, one more. I love this this Twitter handle. Bam Banana Bam. Is there any new music coming our way?
Yes. I've been working over the past year, coming into the city pretty often and writing and recording stuff. We don't have any super concrete dates, but definitely over the summer and into late next year, we're gonna have music coming out. But yeah, it's a process, but I've been working on it. I'm so excited to release new music.
Is the goal to be done with covers, or do you not?
I don't ever, because covers were what brought me here in the first place. I don't ever want to completely stop doing them. There will come a time maybe that on my YouTube channel I won't be posting so often, but I really like recording covers. I think it's really fun to put your spin on other people's songs, so I don't think that'll ever completely stop. It might just slow down if I'm super busy. But
you do an amazing job with them. I think did you do one from 1975? Was there?
Yeah,
I just like how you put your own spin on them and you kind of reinvent it.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that one was fun and people really liked that one. I think it's because the original is kind of upbeat. It's still really sad, but it's upbeat, and I decided, what if I just put it on the piano, make it super slow and sad?
What if I just make you ugly cry even more?
That's basically my entire YouTube channel. It's like, let's take this song, make it super slow and sad, and cover it. That would be great.
Yeah.
And sometimes it turns out good. Yeah, that one was pretty good. It worked out well.
That was great. Well, Alice, that's pretty much it. Pretty painless. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. This was really nice.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks.